Bismillah Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers. Very warm welcome to my vlog series. In this new episode of my vlog, today we will be visiting the steel bridge located at Sukkur, and it is connecting the twin cities of Sindh province, that is the Sukkur with Rohrhi. Dear viewers, this is the marvel or wonder of British regime, which was constructed over the mighty Indus to connect the twin cities. Dear viewers, before the construction of this bridge, the goods or commodities were transported through the ships, through the river. Dear viewers, the British government selected this place to construct a very unique bridge over here. They surveyed for a couple of years. Finally, they decided and selected this particular spot. Dear viewers, the steel bridge is known as the Lansdowne Bridge, and it is locally known as Kenchi Bridge, that is the Caesar shape of the bridge. Dear viewers, the main designer was Alexander Meadows Randall, who designed it, and about 3,300 tons of steel was used in this beautiful and unique bridge. Dear viewers, this bridge was completed in 1889, and then it was used for the heavy vehicles as well for the train. Dear viewers, the total cost of this bridge, particularly on the foundation of this very unique Lansdowne bridge, is 2,76,000 on the foundation. This is the cost which was spent for the erection or for the construction of foundation to the bridge, whereas the total cost of this Lansdowne Bridge is 26 lakhs and 96,000 during 1887 till 1889. Dear viewers, there are different myths and tales regarding the construction of this particular bridge, and I want to share those myths or tradition regarding this particular bridge. It is said that when this bridge was completed, now, the matter was that how the first train will be driven on the railway track. For this purpose, the one of the death sentence prisoner was selected, whose name has been recorded in the different local tradition, that is Jamaluddin Sindhi, and he was announced this particular news. He was told that if you successfully drive the train over the railway track, and if you alive, you will be freed, your life will be freed. So the death sentence prisoner Jamaluddin Sindhi was chosen to drive the train. He very successfully passed through the railway track, and when he crossed the bridge, his family, his wife, they were there, they were on the occasion, and they started singing as a happy gesture, and a very phenomenal, very traditional song, a very folk song came into being. That is the Monjo Katti Ayo Khair Sa Ho Jamalo, welcoming her beloved husband on this happiest occasion. So this is one of the tradition, and thus this folk song came into being. Moreover, it is said that six workers were died during the construction of this wonderful and marvel of Sindh, the LansdowneBridge. Six workers were died. Four were fallen down into the mighty Indus, and they were died. Whereas the two workers who were at work at that time, and some tools were fallen down on their heads, and they were died at the moment. So this was about this wonderful bridge. Later on in 1960, the Pakistani government, in the time of Field Marshal Ayub Khan, a new bridge was constructed, and that was onward used for the heavy vehicles as well for the train. That bridge, the present bridge, was constructed in 1960. So, dear viewers, this was the story of this very fabulous and very unique bridge. So, now we will be visiting this bridge. Dear viewers, as I narrated the whole story before you, now just watch this beautiful and amazing bridge, which was constructed by one of the British company, and every part of it was designed and then made, manufactured, and then installed here over this mighty Indus. Now just watch the panoramic view, the full length view of this wonderful and very amazing, very unique bridge. Now this is the national heritage of Pakistan. What we need, what right now is required to take a special step to make some repairment to it, to save it for the coming generation. And you can see the rabbit nuts. No nut bolts are used, only rabbit nuts are used. And it is of its kind, a very unique arrangement. And you have just watched, now passing through this very wonderful of great historical significance. Presently, the light vehicles are passing through from Sukkur towards Rohrhi, and from Rohrhi into Sukkur. Now we are just passing through this bridge, but we need to preserve it for the coming generation. For the coming generation, we need to preserve it, considering it as a national heritage. This steel-made Lansdowne Bridge, a national heritage bridge, and it was in 1960 when another bridge was constructed to connect both the twin cities during the time of Field Marshal Ayub Khan, and later on by the end of the 20th century another one was constructed. So this is the whole story which I narrated. You might have enjoyed it, and just watch and enjoy these lovely moments. For me, it is sweet memories now. And as a source of information, I shared it with you. And there are two gates through which it can be closed and opened. Now this is one of the side view from the Seven Sisters graveyard, the so-called Seven Sister graveyard, the Safa of Mir Abu al-Qasim Namkeen, one of the 11th governors of Sindh, starting his rule of as a governor during the Akbar domain and continued